Cold storage is not a warehouse business. That is the lie. Cold storage is a business that sells time. It sells one more day before fish rots, one more week before meat loses value, one more month before frozen food becomes waste, one more temperature record before a vaccine shipment gets rejected. And the strange part is this: the companies making the money are often not the ones growing the food, catching the fish, or selling the groceries. They are the companies controlling the cold. Because in the world of food and medicine, whoever controls temperature controls time. And whoever controls time controls the price. This is the hidden business behind cold storage. Most people see cold storage as a boring building. Insulated walls, metal doors, frozen pallets, a few machines humming in the background. But inside that boring building is a financial weapon. A farmer without cold storage has a problem. His product is dying every hour. A seafood exporter without freezing capacity has a problem. His buyer can wait longer than his fish can. A small food factory without temperature-controlled storage has a problem. It cannot choose the best market. It has to accept the fastest one. That is the first secret. Cold storage does not just preserve food, it gives sellers patience. And patience is power. If you can keep a product cold, you can wait for a better price. You can ship it farther. You can reject a bad offer. You can turn a local product into an export product. The same fish, the same chicken, the same box of vegetables can be worth very different amounts depending on one thing: how long it can survive before someone has to sell it. Take seafood. A fish caught near the coast is a race against bacteria, heat, and time. Without cold chain, it has to be sold quickly, usually nearby, usually at a weaker price. But add pre-cooling, blast freezing, cold rooms, refrigerated trucks, and reefer containers. Suddenly that fish is not just local food anymore. It becomes global inventory. It can travel from a fishing port to a processing plant, from a cold room to a container ship, from one continent to a supermarket freezer on another. The fish did not change. The system around it changed. That is what cold storage really does. It turns perishable products into tradable assets. And once you understand that, the business stops looking boring. It starts looking like a toll booth in the global food economy. Here is the second secret. Cold chain money is not made in one place. It is collected step by step. The farmer needs pre-cooling. The processor needs blast freezing. The exporter needs storage. The trucking company needs refrigerated vehicles. The port needs power for reefer containers. The importer needs distribution warehouses. The supermarket needs display freezers. The restaurant needs backup storage. And behind all of them are companies selling panels, doors, compressors, sensors, software, maintenance, and emergency repair. Everyone is taking a small cut from the same invisible requirement. Do not let the temperature fail. That is why cold storage touches so many industries at once: agriculture, logistics, shipping, supermarkets, restaurants, pharmaceuticals, real estate, energy, and data. It is not one business. It is a hidden layer underneath many businesses. And the bigger the supply chain becomes, the more valuable that hidden layer becomes. This is why investors suddenly care about warehouses that look, frankly, ugly. Some of the biggest cold storage companies in the world are not exciting from the outside. They are not selling apps. They are not selling luxury brands. They are not selling artificial intelligence hype. They are selling something much more boring: temperature-controlled infrastructure. But boring does not mean weak. Cold storage sits underneath something more reliable than fashion, more regular than tech cycles, and more emotionally powerful than almost any consumer product: food. People can delay buying a new phone. They can cancel a vacation. They can stop buying luxury handbags, but they still need to eat. And the more the world depends on frozen food, seafood, supermarkets, restaurant chains, grocery delivery, and international trade, the more it depends on cold storage. Boring outside, essential underneath. That is exactly the kind of boring business serious money loves. But there is a catch. Cold storage is not cheap money. It is expensive money. A normal warehouse protects goods from rain, theft, and damage. A cold warehouse fights physics, 24 hours a day. Heat is always trying to get in. Every open door is a small financial leak. Every weak insulation panel is a long-term tax. Every inefficient compressor is a machine that quietly eats profit. And every delayed repair is a future disaster, pretending to be a minor problem. A cold warehouse never really sleeps. Compressors run, fans move air, defrost systems switch on, sensors measure temperature, doors open and close, workers load and unload, electricity meters keep spinning. That is why two cold rooms can look almost identical from the outside and have completely different economics. One is an asset, the other is a slow-motion money fire. This is where many buyers make the expensive mistake. They ask, how much does it cost to build a cold room? That is the wrong question. The better question is, how much will this cold room cost me over 10 years? Because the real cost is not only the construction price, it is the electricity bill, the maintenance schedule, the door design, the insulation quality, the compressor efficiency, the temperature stability, the downtime risk, and the lost inventory when something fails. In cold storage, the cheapest project on paper can become the most expensive project in reality. A bad cold room does not usually bankrupt you on day one. It does it politely, monthly, through power bills, repairs, waste, customer complaints, and emergency calls at 2 a.m. Now picture the nightmare. It is 2:17 in the morning. A compressor trips, a door was not sealed correctly, an alarm goes out, but no one reacts fast enough. Inside the warehouse, nothing looks dramatic. No explosion, no fire, no Hollywood disaster. Just a temperature line, moving slowly in the wrong direction. The pallets still look perfect. The boxes are still sealed. The meat is still frozen on the surface. The seafood cartons are still stacked neatly, but the data is turning against them. By morning, the question is no longer, does it look okay? The question is, can you prove it stayed safe? If the answer is no, the product may already be commercially dead. That is the brutal comedy of cold chain failure. The goods can still be there. The warehouse can still be standing. The packaging can still look beautiful. But without trust, inventory becomes liability. And this is not just about food. It is about medicine. Vaccines and temperature-sensitive pharmaceuticals do not only need cold storage, they need proof. A vaccine shipment is not trusted because it looks fine. It is trusted because every step of the journey can be verified. Manufacturer to airport, airport to truck, truck to clinic, clinic to patient. Every handoff creates risk. Every temperature record becomes evidence. So modern cold storage is becoming a data business. The old business was keep it cold. The new business is keep it cold, prove it stayed cold, and alert someone before it fails. Sensors, data loggers, real-time alerts, monitoring software, temperature history. These are not small upgrades. They are part of the product. Cold air protects the goods. Data protects the deal. And now, we get to the part that reaches your wallet. Cold storage costs do not stay inside the warehouse. They move. Higher electricity costs become higher storage fees. Higher storage fees become higher logistics costs. Higher logistics costs become higher wholesale prices. Higher wholesale prices become the number you see on the supermarket shelf. So when people ask why frozen chicken costs more, why seafood feels expensive, why ice cream keeps getting smaller, or why fresh food is limited in some regions, part of the answer may be hiding in the cold chain. Not on the farm, not in the supermarket, not in some dramatic inflation headline, but in the boring middle, the trucks, the warehouses, the containers, the doors, the compressors, the sensors, and the energy bills required to keep products cold. Cold storage is not the background of the food economy. It is part of the price. And this is where the future becomes even more interesting. The world wants more cold chain, not less. More frozen meals, more seafood, more fresh imports, more grocery delivery, more temperature-sensitive medicine, more traceability, more food safety, more proof. But at the same time, everything cold storage needs is getting more expensive. Energy, land, labor, construction, equipment, maintenance. So the next generation of cold storage will not just be bigger, it will have to be smarter. Automated doors, better insulation, robotic pallet movement, energy monitoring, AI-driven temperature control, solar power, thermal storage, predictive maintenance, real-time tracking. The winners will not be the companies with the coldest rooms. They will be the companies with the best control. Control over energy, control over data, control over location, control over risk, control over time. That is the real hidden business. Cold storage is not just about freezing products. It is about controlling the moment before value disappears, before fish rots, before meat spoils, before medicine loses trust, before supermarkets lose stock, before exporters lose buyers, before consumers pay more. It is the business of buying time in a world where time is expensive. So the next time you open a freezer door, pick up a box of seafood, or see a refrigerated truck on the highway, remember this: you are not just looking at cold food. You are looking at a hidden financial system made of machines, energy, logistics, data, risk, and trust. A system most people never see, but one modern life depends on every single day. And this is only the beginning. Because in the next story, we will look at why an ordinary cold warehouse can sometimes be more profitable than real estate. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Factory Logic for more hidden business stories behind factories, supply chains, and industrial technology. Because the systems that run the world are often the ones nobody notices.